Applebee's. Got the bourbon steak and the
Who sings that song?
I have no
Luke Bryan, maybe? Luke Bryan, I think.
That one needs to come over a little bit. So, side. I'll point it towards you a little bit so you get the best light.
Close up, Mr. DeMille.
Are you, what kind of bulbs do you got?
I have no idea. We just put in regular bulbs.
Just right, the daylight, or are they tungsten? Is that tungsten light? And that is daylight. Because you just don't want to mix those light sources. If
No
they
wonder.
are.
No.
Yeah, but I look good. You just look bad.
Yeah, I just look bad with yellow light. You got white light.
Because you'd probably want to go tungsten, which is like that, which is because that is supposed to represent daylight, and that isn't indoor. But whatever, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, then we'll
Don't worry about it.
Like
No, well, we have no idea.
I think that. I mean, I don't know, because sometimes when you buy bulbs, you look at them and you don't know what the hell they are. And so
Yeah.
if you say it, Doug, knowing what you know, then we'll believe you.
All right. So we're live, and you've been hearing us talk, and we're having.
Hey, welcome. Episode
A few
65. Coffee and bullshit.
Cheers. Cheers.
Haven't started drinking.
Salute.
We're going with the slim cans.
Yeah, he said we're not getting any younger, so he is right.
That's who you said was going to be on Warsaw Patriot.
Warsaw Patriot,
Yes,
So
we're
our
going to
guest-
talk about Ukraine.
You say our guest today is Doug
Slat.
Shaffer.
Everybody who remembers him, Slat would remember him.
So
Me?
well,
Yeah, John
we
Slayton.
went to high school together.
Oh, yeah, Slayton on
Yeah,
there?
yeah, Slayton.
Hey, dude, what's up? Slayton. Are you in, where does he live now?
St. Charles.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. He's a multi-millionaire now.
Nice.
Yeah, worked with the cartels.
What's up, John? Good to see you, dude. Been 20 years. Well, no, it's been 30.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
30. Holy shit, dude.
Been a
Yeah.
while.
Long time.
Yeah, because I think my
Your brother was in my class.
Right.
Yeah.
You
one
were
year behind.
1 year behind.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my 30th reunion is this year.
Did you go to their 30th?
No,
I haven't been to one reunion yet.
Neither
So.
have I.
I went to the 25th.
I didn't go to any.
I think. Yeah, I went 25th. That was good.
So let's rock.
All right, so
Besides going to high school with Doug, it's now is it movie producer, is it TV show producer? What title do you want?
Just producer.
producer, big time producer. If
Not
you're
big
looking,
time.
just quiet. I'm trying to make it
We put a couch in here just for casting.
casting couch.
Because actually, Doug's be doing a movie. He won't be here this week, but Sal and I will be. So if you want a part, stop by anytime during the week.
Exactly.
We don't know what the part is. There's no dialogue, but if you want the part, you got to come sit on the couch and see if you can get the part. Isn't that how it works?
Yep.
He
Exactly.
prefers the guys to come in.
Oh, shut up.
Once
I'm
it's,
talking about.
Oh, okay.
Not you.
I like what?
if it's dark, it's just all the same. It's not gay if it's for a movie. That's what my priest told me.
Well, John, if I film here, for sure, dude. You get
Oh God!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no!
Oh God!
Oh, you made John's ego just
His head won't fit
his
in all
head's
St.
gonna
Charles.
explode.
now.
Yeah,
This is a nice place. This
he'll
is
be
the only
putting a
problem
picture
is
of
that
himself with a big.
the only problem. Well, there's different issues. With
John the
film,
Pebble
right?
Slayton instead of the Rock. You can have the Pebble in your movie.
John was in your class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
He went to junior and then moved over to St. Charles. To like what our I don't remember John. What was it? Junior and senior. He went to St. Charles then.
Yeah, same thing with Roberts.
Yeah.
So,
All the same.
you know what? Next time you're in town, we'll have to get a card game going.
You play euchre?
Yes.
What?
I love euchre.
Euchre? No, we play poker.
We play poker,
Poker,
but I love euchre.
I have no idea
what
what
you play euchre. Dude,
No.
euchre's the fun.
I love.
Euchre is it's a 4-man game, so you,
Oh.
We used to play 3-man cutthroat all the time for big bucks. So I worked.
you
with
can
one-
play three.
Oh,
how do you
yeah.
play
Everybody starts with 20 points. You got to work your way down from 20. So you take 4 cards out of the deck, right? So now you're only playing. So you take the 9s out. You're just 10s through aces. You play with 3 people. Everybody starts.
That
with
actually
20
kind of
points.
works, and then you can't cheat, like because if you have partners, that's why they don't have like tournaments and stuff.
There
You
you
can
go.
cheat.
Oh yes, I used to play euchre tournaments all over VFWs all around here with my mom and dad and everything. And
Foxville.
yeah, the problem was if you couldn't play with a partner that you knew because you had enough signals that everybody would cheat.
Yeah.
But we would play is you don't know who your partner is. You every hand you have a different partner.
Oh, okay.
Because you just have
That's
to draw.
interesting.
You draw for partner.
Okay.
But we play like 100, 200 people tournaments. That's awesome.
If you guys ever stop by the Fox Valley Gun Range, I'm buying a bag of coffee from you guys and shaking hands.
Cool.
We're there tomorrow. We'll be there tomorrow.
No, that's not the.
Foxville.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'll be there tomorrow. I don't know where Sal's
We'll be there
going.
tomorrow. We'll be there tomorrow at 10:30.
We're going there. We're going to set up our display.
Yeah.
drop off some coffee, and we're gonna go shooting. Just letting you know if you're not doing anything.
I haven't shot. I've been to gun clubs in L.A. I've never been to one here. Is it just the same where you just go?
because
or you
here
have to-
because here we can have 30 round
Round
magazines.
No, you could have. Well, but
Yeah,
you could just
yeah.
go up and
Yeah.
get a gun.
You don't have to be a
Do
membership.
they have guns
You
there?
can
Okay,
rent. You
good.
can rent. Yeah, you can rent guns there.
But you have,
No,
you have like big ass targets.
but you can't rent from here unless you have your FOID card.
Right.
Well, I don't know though.
But he can shoot with one of us.
But if he's not an Illinois resident, then he doesn't need a FOID card.
Correct. He's a California resident.
Yeah, so you probably just can walk in and rent the gun and shoot without a problem.
Probably.
I mean, the LA gun club, you just go and pick up whatever you want.
Yeah, Illinois has stupid laws. So Illinois, you have to have a FOID card, which is a firearm owner's ID, to even own a firearm. But if you go to the range, they want to see that before they give you a gun because you can't touch a gun unless you have a FOID card
or ammo.
with somebody who has a FOID card. But if you're out of state, I think you can just walk in and
10:30.
right.
Be there.
Yeah.
Well,
Slayton,
yeah.
you're going to be there 10:32. Come on, you can bring that 45.
You know the thing is, like, shoot a gun, it works up your appetite, dude. Like when I've gone to the gun range, it's so intense. I mean, you were the service, so for you it's different. You've used a lot, but for me, I'm in Laguna, John.
And if you want to come by tomorrow too, we can go shoot 10:30.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We just can't bring beers in there.
Yeah,
You can only drink
you
before.
can't go.
You can only drink.
drunk, though.
You can only drink before and after.
Yeah,
Shoot,
before. Yeah.
not during.
Ugh,
Laguna, yes.
Laguna Beach, baby.
Nice, nice area.
It's nice. It's chill. It's more hippie-ish.
I like it.
Ghost guns.
Oh, the Cook County Sheriff? Yeah, well, that's Cook County. They want to ban the 80% lowers
You want to do
for,
what?
for
what's
ghost
that?
guns.
What's
to make-
80% lowers? What's that?
You still have to do it's not complete, so you put everything else in it. You might do like one or two drilling
I don't
processes.
understand. Like I used to be kind of because I'm not a gun. I mean, I've shot guns. I don't own a gun. I'm not. I'm military law enforcement. I used to be kind of like but now I'm just like, fucking don't fuck with people. Let them have their guns. Like, what is the problem? Like, like a place like Switzerland, everybody there is armed. they get an AK-47
Yeah.
after their civil service, and it's not an issue. And I feel like especially the way things are going nowadays, like fuck that.
Well, look at
no
the dangers
way.
of taking the guns away. So Ukraine had to hand out guns to their citizens. So I just looked. I read a thing.
Venezuela,
They got a guy on a bridge from Ukraine trying to guard the bridge.
One person.
He shot 16 rounds in his life. He's one of the Ukraine. He's a Ukrainian citizen out there. He shot 16 rounds in his life. So you got a guy with an M4 or M16 basically out there
Or
on
an
a bridge
AK.
in a war situation, right? Who's only shot 16 rounds, so still doesn't know how that weapon operates. If he has a problem, he's screwed. He's going to be nervous. There's going to be issues. So now you have. I mean, what you want is your citizens to know how to use guns in case of a situation like this. I know the United States, we're always so insulated from that. That can't happen here. But if
It could.
right.
It
But
could
so,
happen.
so imagine if all their citizens were well trained with guns, could do it guns. They have 40 million people against an Russian army of 1.5 million.
Well,
It'd be pretty easy to
they only brought in about 120.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing up reserves.
Russia
but
has 195,000 troops on the border, and now they just brought 10,000 more from Belarus. 10,000 more Muslim
Do you
soldiers.
think their armies I feel like if the longer it goes, they're going to go bankrupt. Like people don't realize Russia's economy is not even as big as California.
No.
Italy
No.
has a bigger GDP than Russia.
Right.
And Russia is I don't know. I feel like they have. I think they have the most nuclear weapons than anybody. But they just don't have the resources.
Well,
Putin just him and
remember Putin,
Jinping just signed a thing for natural gas to go down there.
But remember, Putin's the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Putin could probably finance this war himself. Putin's probably personal return on his investments is probably more than Russia's whole GDP on a yearly basis.
Yeah, but he can't. If he loses power, he's going to be killed.
yeah.
he knows he's going to be. Somebody's going to
So
kill
now
him.
he's guilty of war crimes. So I was thinking, what's the end? He's going to go hide out in his bunker. The difference between him and Hitler now is Hitler didn't have nuclear weapons. Had Hitler had him, he would have pressed the button before he went to his bunker and be like, fuck it, let's launch.
I bet you though, we gotta have. I guarantee we have it. Like we're probably like telling the insiders around them, like, get rid of them, and then like we'll make it worth your while, type of thing. Because at some point they're probably just gonna assassinate them or try to. Because like
I mean,
I saw a thing on Charlie Rose. They were talking to a CIA guy, and this was years ago, and he was it was something that Putin did, and he's like, well, how would you react to Putin? He goes, I kill his bodyguard. And he goes, I would just kill his bodyguard because then he would know, like, we can get to you if we want to. So I don't know. I feel like, like the thing is that they got to be trying to figure out a way to get them out of there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the next step that's really going to happen is Ukraine's going to surrender and basically try to negotiate. The president tried to reach out to Putin last night. He's like, let's talk. They're otherwise they're going to get wiped out. They can't stand off Russia.
But I just think the people, and even the people that are just like, we don't want to deal with this shit. Like what in this day and age, why are you taking over a whole that like?
Well,
because it's a buffer, but it's like it just feels. I know
because they're super rich in oil.
It's just like
they're not really rich in oil. They're rich in titanium.
Yeah, but they have
iron.
They have one of the largest oil reserves, which I had no idea, and they have a nuclear plant, which they took over in Pripyat. So they're already back at Chernobyl, and now they're gonna start to enrich uranium again and make more nuclear weapons because this guy's a fucking nut job.
Well, like he said, he wanted to bring the other Baltic states into the Warsaw Pact, bringing the old gang back together. Yeah. But the problem is, most of those states
they don't want to deal with. Like, why do they want to go back? And like,
but they're all part of NATO.
Well, no, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are not part of NATO, and Sweden and Norway are not part of NATO.
Finland isn't. Sweden isn't.
Or Sweden and Finland are not.
Right.
Norway is, but Sweden and Finland are not.
Are you sure those other ones aren't?
No, they're not. I thought they were too.
I thought they were.
They're not. So they're not. He just warned Sweden last night and Finland last night. He's like, if you join, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
But see,
if he did that, will we do anything?
I just feel like at that point you're threatening. You just
did you? I don't know if you watched last night. They had the UN on the meeting. So it's so weird. So this is planned to be at this time. So I didn't realize that the president of the Russian Federation is the head of the UN right now. It's the president of the UN. So they did a vote last night. The UN. This is so fucked up. I swear to God, I saw this in a movie. They took a vote. Like the UN wanted to put a Russian. They took a vote. It was 11-4, 1 against, 3 abstaining, and it didn't pass.
Well, yeah, because it only takes one vote to knock it all down.
From the Russian president,
and the Chinese.
Yeah, they abstained. Right, but so one veto, because he's a permanent American secretary, one veto shuts down the whole thing. I'm like, wait, so the guy who's causing it gets to veto whether or not we take action against him? Like, is this the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard? It should be if you're the ones against, your vote that means nothing. But I swear to God, I remember in a movie something like, this is a perfect time to make the move as we're.
All right, John, we'll see you later, buddy.
See you, John.
We can veto this.
See you, buddy.
So I don't know. It was like, I think I saw it in a movie where they're like, we got to do it when we take over the control of the UN, because then they can't move against us.
Yeah,
it's exactly what happened last night.
Did you guys know who Richard Marcinko was? He was the guy who founded Navy SEALs SEAL Team 6.
Yes, yeah.
I met him in Vegas, and he was really interesting. He just passed away, but he's kind of started all that kind of guerrilla warfare,
counterterrorism.
After because Kennedy started the Frogmen stuff, and then it went into Navy SEALs, or not Navy SEAls.
He started Special Forces. He's Special Operations.
And so he would just say they learned like you go into any, they give you like $500,000 in cash. You can buy anything. They give these guys resources to get in and out of anywhere. So if you have to buy a car off somebody, you can buy a car. And like just how they operate, they can get to anybody. He said they would just get to diplomats and their families and stuff like this. And I think if anything, there's something covert that is definitely going on where they're definitely trying to figure out. Because if you're like the Putin's second command and you're just like, get rid of this guy, we'll hook you up and just don't fuck with Ukraine. I don't know. I mean,
if you're in Russia right now and you're part of Putin's inner circle, you should just look what happened during World War II. Hitler turned around and started killing all stuff, right? Went and killed Mussolini. He was trying to kill everybody that was his supporters. So like,
But he was mentally fucked up, and then maybe Putin's fucked
I don't
up
think,
too.
I used to think Putin was a pretty intelligent guy. I've listened to a lot of his speeches. He is a pretty smart guy, but now he's gone from smart to madman. Right? It's like there's no resolve here for him. There's no out for him. The world's going to be against him now. Even if he takes over Ukraine and tries to rebuild the USSR, you're going to be in a Cold War situation with the entire world, and the sanctions will never stop.
Well, it gives China a good excuse to invade Taiwan.
Yeah, it does. But it doesn't matter for Russia. Like, their sanctions will never stop if he doesn't back out of
You're
Ukraine.
right, Warsaw. He is.
Yeah,
totally.
What did Warsaw say?
He said Putin's playing the Hitler playbook.
Yeah, it's exactly what he did. This is exactly what Hitler did. We're just protecting ourselves. We're just stopping threats here in these
Yeah, no, we
countries.
just want to bring back the countries that belong to us. That's exactly what Hitler did. And then
we need more living space.
Yeah. Then Neville Chamberlain was the guy in Britain, prime minister, was like, just let it, just peace at all costs. And then Churchill was the guy saying, "Fuck these guys," because this guy's a scumbag.
No,
and Patton said that about the Russians, though. He wanted to invade Russia. Once we got, he's like, these guys, you can't trust them.
Well, it was funny. People remember the interview with Mitt Romney in the last presidential election. Like, who do you think is the biggest threat? He's like, Russia. And we all laughed at him like, Russia. What are you talking about, idiot? Now look who's the next biggest threat is Russia. Yeah. At the time I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, Russia, they're done.
See, I don't think China wants to they want to influence things. I think they want to do it a different way. I don't think they'd want to take military action to serve. Russia's just a different.
No, they'll take military action against Taiwan.
Oh yeah,
they've
been flying planes over like crazy in the last few days. They even up the amount of sorties over there.
Yeah,
but do you think China? Let me throw this out though. Could China? Because China's economy is very much kind of.
It's growing over 20.
It is. It's big. It's the second biggest economy, but they really do rely on us in a lot of ways. And the one thing China does is they just steal all the technology and everything else. But if they don't have that, and you take some of that stuff away, that's why I hear with tech, like with Apple, why they let them, because that's where we kick everybody's asses in tech. So they just kind of let people do their thing.
Right. But when you have it built overseas in a communist country, how hard is it really get the plans for it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you ever go? Well, I'll tell you this. I used to, the Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. They had, and some other shows. When I worked for Bosch, we go to the National Hardware stuff, and then you see these little Chinese booths that were there, and these guys from these little Chinese companies will come in your booth and take pictures when you didn't know, and then we had to kick them out. And then 2 weeks later, they'd have a knockoff of your tool on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Their piracy is just huge.
Oh, yeah, there's no copyright laws in China. They don't give a shit. So,
no, the one thing that was good, like in Korea, you wanted a Gucci bag, they'll make you a Gucci bag. If you wanted a whatever type of suit,
your daughter?
No, my parents.
Your parents? Hey, Mrs. Dazzo.
Yep.
I went to high school with these guys. I don't know if she remembers me from the football team and stuff.
Yeah, she should. I mean, it's been a long time, but. Yeah, we used to play football.
We lost every game, right?
That's right. We held that record for the longest time.
Oh, and somebody else broke it.
Yep, somebody broke it. Another team was worse than us.
Seems almost impossible.
I know.
0-9. That's a record.
They added one game to the schedule.
They went 0-10.
Let's add one more game to the schedule.
So they went 0-10?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God! Recently?
Because a couple years ago,
they were really good. I heard
maybe about 10 years ago.
It keeps on going up and down. I hear about it. I'm like, oh wow, they're kicking ass, and then the next year it's like they're completely shit, and then they're good and shit.
Yeah, that was when I heard, I was kind of sad that our record got broken.
I didn't know.
Batavia went undefeated this year.
Well, we did too. We just went the other direction.
They went undefeated until they got downstate, and then. So
what big of a conference is Geneva now? Is it one of the bigger ones?
I can't even track it anymore.
I
was just talking to somebody about this the other day.
The Prairie 7, the 8,
Upstate 8.
Upstate 8. There's
another one. Now they're not even.
Yeah, we're not even sure. I haven't really followed football for Geneva.
It's changed so many times now. Who knows?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it in.
I went to one game I played. I was drunk.
What, in the game?
During the game.
Yeah, it was you and
Lawler.
Lawler. Prang was drunk.
It was the last game, though. It was the last game of the season.
Yeah.
What did it matter?
Maybe Tommy Williams. I don't know.
Playing a game drunk.
I don't remember. Because we had Tommy Williams as the quarterback and who was the other? Wilkinson. I haven't heard from him in a long time.
I think he's in Georgia.
Is he in Georgia?
I think so. I saw him. Yeah, but it was years ago. It was probably 15 years ago. I saw him in Georgia and hung out when he's gotten remarried because he was married and then I think he got remarried. So no kids that I know of. But he was teaching. He was a teacher.
Is he? Yeah. I didn't know for years that Jen and Tom got married.
Yeah.
I didn't
They
know
were
that till
together
in high school a little bit, right?
They may have, but no, because I don't know, but it was after. I don't know when they started dating.
And Kristen Berry, she buys coffee from us, and
Yes,
she's
with
Cheetah. Yeah.
But they're in Carolina now.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Tennessee.
I do or no, I know remember. She doesn't remember me.
I know, remember you. I remember you.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
It's 30 years ago.
30 years, guys.
It's unbelievable. So
Think about how much. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask you because we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
But what are some of the products you've done so people can say like, oh, I saw this guy on their podcast and he did this series or this show.
I've done a lot of TV movies, like Lifetime movies. They're like movies of the week. I did the biggest movies I've done. There was a movie I did with Queen Latifah's people called The Perfect Match. That was released in theaters. That did pretty good. It had like Donald Faison in it and P. Diddy's girlfriend, and then it was what's her name, Paula Patton was in it, and then I did a movie called Being Charlie with Rob Reiner, who directed that, and that had Common in it. He was in it, and Carrie Elways from Princess Bride, and the kid who was in Jurassic World, the first one.
Okay.
I know all these.
And and then I did a movie. Well, I won't mention that one. It's called Hot Bot. That one's really that had a lot of stars in it, but it was not. It was bad.
Do you ever get to meet any of these stars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hang with them. Right. I mean, there's some I do, but I don't. With actors, I don't usually want to hang with them.
So you act as producer. So what does that job really mean?
It's a good question. So what it could, the thing is that it's being a producer is not like with a director or writer where it's really kind of clear cut, because there's some producers that really deserve the title of producer. And then I'm not saying that others won't deserve the title. Their just role is different. So you could be a producer and be the person who kind of just sets up the project. You get it going, and then you're not on set. You just kind of take a macro level thing. You kind of get the finances together. You let somebody else kind of do it, and then that's it. That's usually an executive producer. But the producer is usually one that's there from beginning to end. So development of the script, selling the project, and then casting everybody, and then delivering the film to the network. So you're there through the whole time. So you be either creative, which means you're able to work with writers and you have a good story sense, or you can be more of a we call it story producer, creative producer, or you can again be more of kind of a business minded. You'll find a lot of people that are really good at getting money or selling projects, but aren't like, they're not really interested in the creative. Then there's people that are in the creative that don't want to know how.
Right.
They don't want to be sales. They're just more like
they don't want to sell anything, right?
Yeah. It just depends. So you can kind of be. I think nowadays you kind of have to be a hybrid. You got to be a little bit of both, and you got to be able to, because especially there's so many different projects out there, and especially if you're, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing like a giant, huge budget movie, you almost can't mess that up because there's so many people involved. It's like, if you got so many people to help you, and it's like unlimited funds, like a Star Wars movie. It's like that's the thing. Like when the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker came out, I was appalled. I was like, you have more money than any other budget, and you screw this up so bad. I'm like, how could you screw this up so bad?
Right.
And but lower budget stuff is really where you gotta, kind of grind it out a little bit. But it's fun. It's a lot of work. But what's cool about it is that you work your ass off for like 4 or 5 months, like nonstop. Then you get kind of break time, and it's just good not having like, you know, just like at least the way I am. I can kind of work really intense, and then I'll go on vacation or whatever, hang with my kid, you know, and where you're not, it's not like a 9 to 5 thing. So and every project's different. So that's what I like about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody, and it is. Your family can suffer, and your friend, like you know, that's where it gets hard, because it can be, you know, you could be gone, or it can be very intense. But
Right, because you're on set, you're in there the whole time.
it's kind of like you're in the circus. Honestly, it's kind of like you're part
traveling
of the
circus, right? Pack up, move. Plus, if you're not getting work, then it sucks, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the pressures of that, of
Yeah.
not making money, waiting to the next project.
Mhm.
And I guess I gotta imagine, like, if you also get some of the pressure to constantly do stuff, because they gotta constantly know Doug Shaffer's a producer. Like, if Doug's out of it for 5-6 months, they might forget to call Doug when it comes time to make the
Yeah, no,
project.
you can't, like, you know, you got to try to, like, right now I'm finishing up one, but I'm trying to get everything set up for the next one or couple or whatever. And then, you know, you try to get side gigs, whether you're teaching or something like that, to kind of keep you, you know, if you need a little extra dough, or just keep you busy, because sometimes it could be a year until your next movie goes. I mean, whatever.
So have you done some teaching?
I've done guest speaker roles, not teacher stuff. I could, but it's kind of like, I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of these kids that are going to film schools, like, they're getting totally ripped off. It depends, because the thing is, like, some of these people that are teaching film classes have never even been on a movie set. They've never even made a movie. They've never even made a short film. Maybe they made a short film with their friends in their backyard.
Yeah.
They want to teach it. I'm like, and they're paying like $50,000 a year to go to school, and you're learning it from people that are not professionals. And so I think if you go to, obviously, LA or New York, you're going to learn it. Chicago, you can. I think you can kind of learn it in LA and then move back, like, kind of like what I'm doing. So now I can kind of do my job anywhere.
Right.
And I don't need to, you know, with my contacts or whatever, I can just, if I got to fly in for a meeting or whatever, I'll do it. But I don't have to be in LA. Yeah, I just, you know,
So where did you go to school?
Undergrad, I went to Illinois State. I got a marketing degree. And then I was in marketing for a while. And then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. So I applied to grad school at AFI, American Film Institute in LA. And I wanted to be a director, but I didn't have what they call a reel, like a good reel, like experience. So I didn't know anybody in the film. So I went in as a producer, because they had different role. You get a degree in producing, directing, whatever. And so I got in. I got lucky. I got my master's there.
So could you go as producer and then into directing, or you have to have a degree?
No. Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you don't have. But I'm saying at school you had to stick in that specific. Right. If I was producing, I can say, well, I want to be. No, they're like, no, you got to stick to this. But I'm glad I did.
So probably get to like direct, you don't already have to have a whole bunch of films that you made, a bunch of short projects and stuff.
Well, you can. I mean, it depends. There's an interview process and stuff. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, but to be honest, I'm glad I did not do the director gig. I'm glad I went to producer, because it's much better when you are kind of starting the projects and picking them. So then you hire people, as opposed to having to wait for people
to go and try to get a job. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, so when you had your teacher, you probably had a couple different ones.
Yeah, but all these guys are like Oscar winners.
Oh,
that's the thing that was cool, because it was in LA. So everybody, like, you're talking to people like Frank Pearson, who wrote like Cool Hand Luke, won the Oscars for, like, you know, wrote Dog Day Afternoon, and, like, you know, and you're talking to, you know, you got people like Christopher Nolan that are coming in and talking to class and Spielberg and stuff. So it's awesome. Like, you know, so you're learning from like the masters,
people who've actually like achieved super high level success.
Yeah, so you're not, so they can give you really good advice. So you're not talking to some dude who just, you know,
right. Shot a commercial for WTTW 11 in Chicago.
Yeah, now they've been teaching for 20 years, right. And it's just like, dude,
I think this is how they used to do
teaching them, and you're giving them such terrible advice. Like,
this is how you make the projector work.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got a marketing undergrad. So if anybody wants to do that, if you got kids who want to do it, I would tell them, if they want to get into film, have them get at least a communications undergrad, and then go grad. do it, because otherwise, if you just get an undergrad in it, I think it's a waste of money. I feel like you've got to get something more, because you do have to have a kind of a fail safe. If you
Sure.
if in 5 years you don't want to do it, because a lot of people do that, you want to do something else.
So what percentage of your job is selling now?
Well, a lot of it, because I'll have to sell to either a network or private investors. I'm trying to get to the point where we get private equity, where you get these people that you can start a film fund or something, and then you run the fund for them, and those
So that become like a huge fund. Like, all right, so we have this pool of money, we make movies, and then money goes back.
Yeah, but a lot of those
percentage.
are just losers, because what happens is a lot of people just get so greedy, and they just, the first thing they do is enrich themselves.
Yes.
And then they go to Sensory City and get a giant office, and then they get a huge staff. Like, dude, like, just build it up slowly. Like, don't otherwise you're going to be in the hole. But see, that's the thing, is there's so many. You go to California, I'll stop this rant, but there's the richest people in the world, and you deal with people that don't understand what a real regular life is. They don't understand. Like, they don't know how to use an ATM type shit.
They're so far,
but they're like these. They got, like, money is no option. But sometimes it's funny, because they don't even their soft skills never develop. So like you're with you guys, you're interacting with customers all day, and so you have to be good. You have to be personable. You have to be a salesman, whether indirectly or directly.
Sure.
Where a lot of these people just don't even. It's like the skill they never had to learn, because they got everything they wanted. So.
Right. They just say something and it's supposed to happen, right? They don't get to actually communicate and finesse.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. I've dealt with a few of the people in my life, and just kind of like.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. That's funny you bring that up, because the DP who was killed went to AFI. She went to my school.
Oh, really?
And the first AD who worked on that movie the movie I just shot in Arkansas. All the people knew him because he worked on a movie he got fired on in Arkansas because a gun discharged.
Yeah.
They were doing a period piece, and a fucking rifle went off, and he was a drunk, and he got fired because the sound guys it happened right in front of his ear.
Oh.
And so when that first AD made a statement, like, Alec Ball was like, this guy, first of all, it's the first AD, he's responsible for the safety that goes on set. The fact they had a loaded fucking gun on set, or even a workable weapon.
Right.
Like, you either just have a gun that's not, it's like we have plastic guns, or just because you do the muzzle flash in post, you don't need it.
Right.
Like, I mean, I know they want these guns, but so he should definitely get, I don't know if with the murder thing, but he's got to lose money because he was a producer on that. So fuck him. And then the other producers on that, I know, that help finance, and they're scumbags. Like, they're super cheap. Like, they don't care. They do these movies with stars. They just sell them, and they're notorious for cutting corners. So all those producers on that should get fucking sued. And Alec Baldwin, he didn't even act like he was sorry. He's just
first thing he did was, it's not my fault.
Not my fault.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, but he did that because he just doesn't want to admit that.
The gun, I pulled it and it went off.
Right.
He is a producer on set. So if he was not a producer, he would probably, it's not really necessarily his fault. But the fact that he is a producer on that movie, he absolutely is responsible. And he can't,
but he just wanted a credit. He just wanted producer credit.
Oh,
he was probably, but he's listed as producer on the movie.
Right,
and so as a producer, he's responsible for that. And I just, as a producer, you have to be so careful of what goes on, because you don't want any type of anything happening under set, because you're gonna get sued. I was like, the last production I was on, it went really well, but I was very aware of what's going on, because and the fact I heard they were firing the guns off at spare time, you have to fire all those people that did it. You get those guys I just cannot believe
that should never been my.
I don't even know what kind of crew they had, because that is crazy.
Right, something dumb to bring to set for a bunch of people.
But I don't understand why you would bring a live weapon with real rounds, like
even after everything was over and done with, and after hours,
they either got an armor who was just terrible, and she was so cheap, and she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. Which is they probably did. It probably got somebody who was just so cheap and like 8th grade level education and didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Because you'll find a lot of people that are gacked out or like cracked up, like, and you gotta just, it's awful. And New Mexico's got a lot of good crew, so I don't know why they couldn't get somebody who's good.
So are there different crews in different states then? I don't know.
You can do wherever you want. Yeah, there's crews all over. I mean,
you said, Arkansas, it was hard to find good people.
No, actually, no. We found great people in Arkansas. So we had great. It was hard to find. There were certain, like the majority of the crew they were awesome. There were just certain roles, like we were looking for an assistant editor, couldn't find one, and what we called a DIT tech. We had real trouble finding people. It's just they have really good crew, but they don't have a lot of them. So, like again, if you have multiple productions going in there, you might be out of luck.
I just have to ask. I always see the credits saying Best Boy.
I was just gonna say Best Boy Electric. What the fuck is Best Boy Electric?
It's just he works. He's like an electrician.
Why is it goddamn Best Boy?
There's a lot of things. Best Boy.
I think that's what.
Is he a go-getter?
I feel like that's from back in like racist times. Like,
no,
you're the best. You're my best boy.
It's just the thing is, there's language like a C-47. Would you say, give me a C-47? That's a close hand. Or like that's all it is. Wooden close hand. But they call it C-47. And there's just this industry jargon. Right. Like you'll get a stinger, which is a big extension cord, but you call it a stinger. And so it's just a way certain language is set up. So if you're not in the industry, you won't understand what it is. Yeah. They said the reason they said they called it C-47 is that I don't know if this is a wives' tale or not, but they had in the budget clothespins. I think I say clothes hangers, but clothespins, the wooden clothespins.
Okay.
And the producer's like, why do we got clothespins, in the budget? And then they just changed it to C-47. He didn't know what it was.
Didn't know he mentioned about it, right?
So now when you use the plastic ones at C-48?
Yeah, no. But some of the things stay the same. The C stand, all that stuff has all been kind of the same for years.
Yeah.
Like the light stands, all that stuff has been the camera technology has evolved a ton. But.
Oh yeah. Now it used to be film, probably mostly digital now, right? Or they still use film?
No, nobody uses film. Actually, no, that's not true. Some will. The Walking Dead, they would shoot that on Super 16, not on digital, because when they'd shoot it, they with high def, you're going to see all the extras in the background. You're going to see them all. So they didn't want to do all the crazy makeup. They just wanted partial makeup.
So they're blurry back there.
Yeah. So you can't see all the distinguishing features because there's so much makeup. So they shoot on Super 16. At least they did. Maybe they changed it.
Interesting. See,
Christopher Nolan shoots on 35. I don't know if Spielberg does anymore. He might. Scorsese did. I don't know if he does anymore. Because there's a certain look with that, but it's so easy to edit and just because it's more of the workflow is a lot easier digitally, because if you have film, then you got to get it to a telecine process and you have to develop. It's just a whole.
Did you have to learn all that in school?
You learn, you're just going through it.
But it's like on the job training. Some of it.
Yeah, you're not. They don't like you. That's just from doing. Yeah. It's not the Clint Eastwood. Yeah, Clint Eastwood is great, and actually, I heard just nothing but great things about him. He likes to shoot fast, but I heard he'll be at awards. He knows how to speak Spanish, and so he'll speak Spanish to the servers and stuff, and just he's super nice to everybody, and just a great guy.
That's because they went and shot all those half the westerns in Spain, right?
No, it's in Italy.
Or Italy, that's right.
Yeah. Sergio Leone.
But he was staying in Spain. That's what it was. He's telling a story they would go shoot it, then he would go stay in Spain.
Yeah. Bobby, take it easy, buddy. American Sniper.
Yeah, he did American Sniper. That was the one based on the guy there.
Who did that one?
Eastwood.
Was it? Oh, I didn't.
Letters from Iwo Jima was great. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was in all Japanese for the most part. That was great.
Yeah. And so, is your plan maybe one day? I mean, be like one of these big films, or you've done that, or?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is what I like is just I like. It's more about control, or just having, working with people I want to work with.
Yeah.
And I like because I'm working with Sony on this, and it's been good. But I can't even like if you're doing a Spider-Man, like that's great, but that's got to be such a headache in a lot of ways because there's so many people involved, and it would just kind of be like, and I feel like at that point you would probably just kind of feel like you don't really have to do that much. You know what I'm saying? Because like honestly, you can't like even the directors. The reason they have all these different directors, you can't fuck it up. Like they storyboard everything,
right?
And like that's because they all look the same because it's all producer driven. But like it's not like a Scorsese movie or whatever where he's that's what they don't want. Like well, he doesn't want to do it anyway. But like well actually no, Sam Raimi did the new Doctor Strange, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's just it's all about just what you want to do. And yeah, that stuff would be fun. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, if it came about, but who knows? I like do what I'm doing. I'm not like I don't have any like I gotta be a gazillion or like I don't think that way. I just like make movies.
Well, when you so you've probably been to award shows.
Mm-hmm.
You've been probably to the big ones. You have to get all.
No, I never went to Oscars.
No, never went to Oscars.
You can be seat filler and go there. I mean, you can go there as an audience member. I've been to, like AFI does a lot of. I've been to the one with Warren Beatty and John Williams and Spielberg and Lucas, all those guys. But that was fun. But some of their stuff, I mean, yeah, I guess I don't get into. I'm not even going to watch the Oscars this year. I don't think.
No, I haven't really done that in years.
Lost interest in that.
Yeah, it's been. I think since what was that movie with the bomb text?
Used to be entertaining, but now it seems like it's just hey, to watch a bunch of people pat themselves on the back.
Yeah.
Well, Seth Rogen said something that was funny. He's like, why do we think anybody cares? Like, I don't care who wins the best car. I don't go watch the car awards. Why anybody outside the industry would care? I don't know. And I also think they got to be a little bit more.
They're getting a little too political.
Well, it's not really political. It's just kind of like be more like when these gift baskets cost $250,000, they give to these people that are already rich. And like, why don't you just give it to the homeless shelter,
right?
Or do something else?
Like, why do they need? Cool if they'd use the Oscars as a fundraiser. Just
do something
like every year, pick a new cause and like all the proceeds go to this.
Yeah, and like do something.
Right,
like,
you want a commercial during the Oscars? Great, then we'll take that money and donate it.
Do something more because there's so much money.
Right.
I mean, a $250,000 gift basket, dude. Like
it's ridiculous.
Everybody,
right?
Well, everybody's nominated. It's just,
right.
Like I feel like you just like that could be somebody's salary for 10 years, dude. Like
plus there's gift rooms before then, right? Whether you get the basket or not, like you can go. All the sponsors are there. You set up the gift rooms.
Yeah.
You can go get a bag and walk around, get all the free shit.
What was that good one? Where
Iron Man was good
on Sopranos when he was doing talking to the guy about the movie, and he went to the gift room, and they're just handing out these watches and all. He's like, "These give you stuff for free," and then they fucking.
That's the best show.
Yeah,
I was watching some of that because they did the movie. The prequel, and I was in California at a hotel, and they were playing a bunch of it on HBO. And I was like rewatching. I was like, dude, I forgot how awesome the show is. It's so well written, and the characters. It is funny.
Yeah,
it's funny at the weirdest times. Like it's just awesome.
There's so many scenes I remember that were just hilarious. My favorite one ever is when they were going. Tony said he's going to step back from the business, and they found the truck, and they had all fur stuff, and then Big Pussy had the German helmet on. And Tony calls like, "We have ways of making you talk soprano." He's doing like the German accent. It was fucking hilarious. I was dying laughing. Like he was mad because he couldn't be there playing with his friends. Like they were all playing with all this shit and having a good time. And he couldn't be, but like that shit makes me fucking laugh when I look back at it.
One thing I noticed though, I watched the first episode of The Sopranos and then the next one. If you watch the first episode, Tony doesn't have he speaks with his normal voice. James Gandolfini, he doesn't have the kind of he talks it's just a different.
Right.
Like, he doesn't talk the way
they put the harder consonants and the bounce in there.
And he doesn't talk like that. He talks like he does normally. He doesn't kind of have that drawl, kind of that lazy drawl. And then the episodes after, that's when he started to kind of, what are you talking about? Like where he didn't speak like that in the first episode.
Well, I'm sure they got some feedback after the first one. They're like,
this guy
doesn't sound like the accent. Doesn't sound like he's from Jersey.
He doesn't sound like that. I guess he was a hippie. He was kind of a hippie stoner. He was not.
What movie did he do where he played a gay guy? It was really good movie.
That was the one with Brad Pitt and Julia Roberts.
Yeah,
Right?
he's good. In that.
Yeah, there's something.
I can't remember, but he was good. At it.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
No,
I don't know.
But he played the guy. He's really good at it. You're like,
I know I've seen it, but I can't
Really
True
remember.
Romance. He was in True Romance.
Yeah, he was in Get Shorty.
He was.
He didn't Get Shorty.
He was in Crimson Tide. Remember that? movie?
Yep. Yeah. He was one of the officers on the sub
That's a good movie too.
Yeah.
That's a really
with
good
Dennis,
Gene Hackman,
and
Viggo Mortensen, and Denzel.
Denzel. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, God, that's old. Wow.
That's an underrated movie too. I mean, because I remember it came out like right after, because Hunt for October was great.
Yeah.
And then that came out. I was like, well, how good? And that's a good movie. Because think about that. If you had like a mutiny and a nuclear submarine, like,
What's scary is the new submarines, how long they can be out and stay down and not be found. So
how long are they going to be out there?
I can't remember how long it is now.
As
but it's
long as their food can last.
right, it's like
that's-
super long now. It's like a couple.
That's how long they can
It's like
last.
it's like
Water's no problem. They just desal.
They wouldn't say how long it was. Like they were talking about the new ones, but like because the guy was in Congress and
Well, they never say how long, and they never say how deep.
How many nuclear subs do we have? Do you think? How many do we have?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I think we lead in subs.
More than what they tell us, I'm sure.
And
I haven't seen the Get Shorty series. I heard it's good. It's like a Russian guy though, right? I think.
I haven't watched it either.
yeah, I haven't watched it either.
I heard it's good.
But I don't think I even watched the movie.
Oh, movie's fucking
Movie's great.
The
I have to.
The movie's
John
awesome.
Travolta,
Dennis,
Yeah.
what's the guy's name?
Dennis Farina.
Dennis Farina. He's
Dennis
fucking. He's awesome in that. He plays that part awesome.
Yeah, but he what was the movie?
Oh, Amanda would watch that one.
He was in Midnight Run.
Wow, that's just gonna say Midnight
It's
Run.
like, Sydney, I'll put this fucking phone in your head. Bury this phone in your
My
head.
favorite one is, hey, more on number one, put more on number two on the phone.
I'm not interested in seeing either one of you live until you pick me the account.
That fucking still makes me laugh. Every time I see that scene, they're like, is this more on number one? Put more on number two on the phone.
Well, he was a Chicago guy.
Yeah,
He was a
yeah.
Chicago cop.
But he's like the only guy who could have played that part and like done it so well.
Well, you remember he was in that TV show in the late 80s? He
Was
played
it
a
a cop show?
gangster in Vegas.
God,
with a-
no.
Yeah.
He was in you ever see Manhunter? Manhunter was the original Hannibal Lecter, it was a different guy playing Hannibal Lecter. And they redid it called Red Dragon with Ed Norton.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that movie, but it was even out before
Oh,
it's not something Michael Mann, who's a Chicago guy, directed. It's trippy, and he's in it. You should see that if you can, because it's different. It's the same movie as Red Dragon, but it's from 86 or something. But it's cool. It's trippy.
Now, have you met a lot of people from the Chicagoland area
For what?
in
Movies?
LA, or just like that movie
Well,
stuff?
I went to undergrad here, so I got tons of friends that are here. So,
Well, here, but I'm talking about in LA. Like you just all of a sudden doing
well,
something.
when I
else,
was
I'm like,
in, yeah,
you were
I
there,
would
you
hire.
were-
Like I like working with people from the Midwest in general because they're not going to lie, and they're going to work hard.
it's funny.
It's true.
It's funny.
We're
My
working
brother
Chicago.
lives in San Diego. He's now been there for 15, 16, 17 years. But it's funny. So
Is Scott your only brother?
what's funny is most of his friends are from the Midwest. And most of them are Chicago transplants. Like they're all like Chicago area
I
transplants.
didn't know he was in San Diego.
Yeah, he's been there for I don't know how long, 20 years maybe.
Does he ever see Steve? Steve Schuette's out there.
Mm.
He was in your
Schuette?
class, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in your class?
Yep, he was in my class. I don't think so. I don't know. I know he's.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't,
Did he have an
he
older
didn't mention
brother?
anything. Yeah, Dave.
Schuette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to make fun of his dad and Steve's dad.
But people go out and visit him every once in a while.
Kirk's the Russian submarine then planted, and 13 sailors were still alive in it. It's the fall of Kirk. It's a Netflix.
Hmm.
Is that a documentary or is that a?
No, it was a movie. It was a movie about that
What's up,
submarine.
Bobby? Welcome.
Oh, that's probably from Patriotic Frog.
Yep.
He makes all the awesome wood carvings, the grenade table up front.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We got, and well, it's almost close to that time. So you're just here visiting, taking care of your
Yeah,
mom.
I'm just kind of met with my mom's here. I'm going down to Florida in like a week or so to see my brother. Actually, 2 weeks, and then I got to finish this. I'll probably go back to California right after that. So
So like when you make a project now, what's your average truck from start to finish? How long does it take?
a year.
A year? Wow, it's a long time.
It depends, though. I mean, if you got a time, like if there's way lower budget movies, then you got to do it quicker. But yeah.
So is it like get the project, sell it, scout?
Usually have it sold, or you have it sold before you go, typically, or have
Right.
you know what's going to happen with it. So
what is the selling now? Are you like going out?
we got to have a
knocking?
script. You got to have a script. I mean, part of it is that it's not even it's that you have to have been able to show that you can produce a movie. Because what happens is a lot of times people come to me and I'm like, you've never, like, I'm not, why would I give you money? Or like, not me. I mean, I'm not like
why would I go find it for them?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you just got to work your way up to that, and then you get to a point where you become like a vendor. You're just you're relied upon, and you have people that a streaming service or whatever that needs content. So they don't do that internally. I mean, they will. Well, actually, no. I mean, Sony, they all work with outside production companies. They'll develop stuff some in house, but they don't they'll finance the movie, but usually they have another company kind of do it because otherwise they're going to have to pay union dues longer and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a different.
So over time, do you kind of build your own stable of financiers?
Yeah, you can, or you just, I mean, or you can go to studios or like Netflix, like LMN. I mean, I have a relationship with A&E, so I'll talk to them and say, hey, I got movies coming. What do you think?
Okay.
Blah blah blah. And so you have a dialogue with them, and so. And then once you get to a certain place, like you could have a thing with Netflix where they'll be like, well, send me the scripts, and if we like it, we'll go. But once you've established that you can do that and deliver, then yeah, you can go in.
Once you got the connection, right? You've already proved.
Well, you can if you've done it, you can just even call kind of like if it makes sense for them. Like I just did a Faith Race review. If there's another distributor with Faith Race, I could call and just say, hey, I was wondering if we could set up a call or something like that. And they're not going to say no but they will if you haven't done anything.
Right,
you're just right. Like, but that just takes time,
So what would you say was your best time of doing producing? Or like a really good.
The last movie was because it was
one?
all on my own because I worked for a production company for like 10 years, but this was the one I was completely on my own. So that's where it was most fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good.
And more to come. Well, shoot, we'll have to come up with a story here, man.
Sounds good to me.
We could
come up with something here. So
yeah. All right, guys. It's about that time. I just want to mention one more thing. The one time I was over at your house for the Tyson fight.
Which one was that? Which one was that?
It was the one where the whole football team came over. It was the only time.
Was it Spanx or something?
It was like 20 seconds into the fight, and that was it.
Tyson knocked him out?
Yeah.
It wasn't Spinks, was it?
I think it was Spinks.
I think it might have been Spinks.
Or Larry Holmes.
No, it must have been a big one because the Spinks fight was huge.
Yeah, because your dad got, had the pay-per-view.
Might have been Spinks.
A lot of the other parents came over to watch it too. And we're already watching, and then like 20, 30 seconds later it was done, and everybody's like, okay, good night, bye. It was like that. I was like, time to go home.
Well, I think, but Tyson had so many quick ones. They're like 90 seconds. You're like, fuck, I'm not.
Kicked everybody's ass.
I remember we learned a little trick where you got to switch the cables in the back of the TV, and then you could see the fight for free. You would kind of go negative every once in a while, but we're never going to pay $45 for a 90-second fight.
I just remember that was the only time I've been to your house. So
I thought you came over. I thought like we had like stuff for after the football games or whatever. Like maybe it was basketball. We had people.
Yeah, I was too short to play basketball.
Because I had the basketball team over, but then you weren't in. Were you in track or?
I did track.
Were you in shot put? Then I did that with you.
Yeah,
one year.
Me, you, Shemp,
and Greg Wilson.
Dude,
that guy was a maniac, man. Yeah. He would just the shot put. He would feel like, dude, it's this. That guy was like, that guy's strength was out of this world.
But one of the kindest people you ever met.
Oh, nicest guy.
Nicest guy.
But he was a great athlete. Football, basketball, track. But he threw that shot put like
he's a big fucking dude, but he's still super fast.
He was just built. He was he was a stud. He was a freaking stud.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us.
Warsaw, cheers, buddy.
See you next week again.
Where we have I want a
stay safe.
Third one to come out.
Bound,
Yeah,
Bound
oh,
go to Ukraine if you
Sicario.
can.
Sicario. I haven't. It's too good.
Well, I haven't seen it, but the guy who directed it just did Dune, so I don't know. I don't know if he directed the second one though.
I
He
saw
did
Dune.
the first.
I
The first
wasn't
one's
happy
good.
with Dune.
I didn't see Dune.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, everybody.
Later, guys. Thank you all.
Dude, this is a cool little setup. This is really nice.